kind of how you got your start in with ESPN and what you're doing now.
Well, I'm living the dream because I want to do this job since I'm 10 years old. My grandmother was who got me into sports. She was a phenomenal sports fan back in the Chicago area. I grew up in Northern Illinois, outside of the city, and get dropped off at my grandparents' house on the weekend. They'd have NFL football on the TV, M&Ms on the table. She'd be having Cubs games on a transistor radio on a folding chair in her backyard of Rockford, Illinois, when I was a little kid. If you remember what a baseball scorebook is, you got to be old enough to know what that is. But she would score every game. She was just absolutely passionate fan, and listening to games on the radio mostly with her made me think, like, what could be a better job than that? Like describing live sports to an audience that was as fired up about it as you were. And so since I'm 10, I've wanted to do this job, and I've done every little extracurricular activity and odd job I could think of in high school and college to build a skill set, make contacts, give up a lot of social life at CU Boulder in order to, hopefully hone my skills, and got to ESPN really young. Back, by the way, when ESPN was not what it is now. ESPN 1986, when I got hired, was 7 years old. Wasn't the worldwide leader in anything. I was stoked to have the job. It was a very unconventional choice to go with ESPN over, if you could believe it. This shows you how different things were. Over a local station to go read scores somewhere. Nothing wrong with that, but that was the conventional path that everybody who advised me in college told me to do. And here was this cable network offering me a high school sports show called Scholastic Sports America. I thought maybe I was going to get hired for SportsCenter. They had other ideas. I looked 11 years old, so there's no way they're going to put me in SportsCenter at that point, even in 1986 at ESPN. And so I did this high school sports show against the better judgment of a lot of people who meant well, but would have guided me in a terrible direction how they said no to ESPN. And from there, one employer for like 36 years now, which is almost inconceivable in this business. A lot of different things within those 3.5 decades, but to have one employer have that kind of stability, be able to grow along with the company has been really cool. And now, after some navigating and some other unusual choices while I was at ESPN, I ended up getting to do my two favorite sports, which are college football and tennis. And we have championship events in both sports. So life is good, guys. I mean, what can I tell you? I love what I do. Gratitude is something I practice authentically each and every day because of the professional life I've had. And that's just a part of what I do. I don't think I'm married to my job, but when I'm at my job, I certainly love it.
That's incredible. What at that time when you were choosing between the local station and joining ESPN, what was it? Was there something that you could feel in your gut, or some type of inclination like, oh, I need to go with ESPN over maybe the more accredited at the time of the local station?
Yeah, that's a great question. That is the key to life, I think, but it's certainly the key to professional life, is having the inner voice come through to guide you in a certain direction, even if it's a direction that others say you shouldn't do. And the simple fact was ESPN seemed more fun. Isn't that a crazy reason for choosing your first job? It just seemed more enjoyable, more challenging in a way. It wasn't live TV. I wasn't broadcasting events. It was a magazine show where I was dressed in T-shirts, unfortunately, before cuts existed, because they didn't fit like this. But I was just bopping around covering high school athletes in all 50 states and a few foreign countries for a couple of years at ESPN, and learning how to be in front of a camera, learning how to write stories, learning how to sit with an editor and choose shots. It was everything. It was like a 3-man little unit doing this show. And yeah, that was really unconventional, but it was great growth. And it was just a voice that said, hey, go do this. And then I talk to a lot of young people, some who want to get in this business and most who don't, and just talk about clearing away the static and the clutter in your life, including meeting other people who love you, and just being able to let that inner voice and that gut, as you called it, come through. And that's always been my guide.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you picked a rocket ship.
It was a good stock to buy in '86. You're right about that.
That's amazing.